Basic Science NCERT. So the chapter is very much interesting as it explains about our transport system, our transportation. So I am Sutapa. I welcome you all to my channel Learn Right Away by Sutapa. So continue till the end to understand the chapter in a clear manner. Let's start. The chapter 10 is generally about motion and measurement of distances. So in this chapter we are going to we'll deal with several things, that how the transport has been arisen and how the transport has been arise and how it help us in our life, daily life, how it has been modified to different form of transportation, how it advanced its features by time. So all these things we are going to discuss today, and even the distance, means how we are measuring the distances, how the distance, is there any one unit or several units, and what is unit also. So all these basic things we are going to clear in this video, will be clear in this video. And some important things, that the motions generally takes place by traveling a distance or by moving from place to place. Several motions are taking place. So are the motions are of one category or they have certain categories also. So all these things can be discussed in this video. So be with me till the end and don't miss the video and don't pause it also. Okay, so let's start about today's lecture. So first thing comes here is story of transport, where the transport generally begins. Because in the ancient time of our culture or in our country, there was no such vehicles to transport or to travel from place to place. Okay, so in that time, in our ancient era, generally people walk away so many distances to move from place to place, or generally they take the help of several animals like bullocks, horse, etc. to take their goods from place to place or to transport also. So that was the only medium, means if they want to travel, so they have to walk away. If they want to take some goods from place to place, then they are only dependent. They were only dependent on the animals like bullocks, cows, or even the horses, etc. So these were the only medium. After the invention of wheels only, they were able to make the carts of bullocks also, carts of horses also. So they made the carts of different varieties, and the carts helped them transporting goods as well as traveling to different places. Then after the invention of wheels also, our steam engine has been invented, which helped us to make the railway system. And after the invention of wheel only, we are able to make some vehicles like two-wheelers, then after three-wheelers, then after four-wheelers, then like buses, trucks, etc. and etc. So what about on the water medium? On the water medium only, in the ancient era only, they were able to have a log of wood, means a log of wood being attached together. They are generally of hollow in structure, and they keep on sitting on the log of wood and they cross the river or river-like structure. But after that, after some time or after this type of medium, they enhance themselves and they advance their skill, and they make the boats. That is, they being inspired from the fish. Fish is having a streamlined body. That generally help the fish to swim in the water. So this structure generally inspired them to make something, create out of wood to swim on the water surface. So or to transport the goods on the water surface. So that inspiration made them to make the boat-like structure to transport the good and also to travel on the water surface. Okay. Then after some time also they were able to make the ship-like structures. Now it is highly advanced, and we have seen that Titanic-like big structure of ships also. After so many years of span, in the early years of 1900th century, generally we were able to invent the aeroplanes. So later it is modified into carry the passenger or and the goods also. And in the 20th century, generally we are having our electric trains, monorails, supersonic aeroplanes and spacecraft like vehicles or vehicles, or you may say machines of advanced technologies. Okay. Then comes our some of measurements. So why the measurements are generally required? Because when we are traveling or we are crossing a distance of a place to place, then if we require to measure that how many distance we have covered from our origin, so we have to know the measurement of distances. Okay, so some units should be known to us, that then only we will be able to measure the distance. Unit means if we are measuring something, means measuring an unknown distance or an unknown quantity with a known quantity or a known thing, that is known as the unit. Means suppose you are having a 1 liter of beaker, 1 liter measurement beaker, and you have the unknown quantity of water inside the bucket. So how would you measure? By pouring continuously to the 1 liter beaker and measuring how many beakers are covered, or how many beakers required to cover the to measure the full bucket of water. Then only by counting the 1 liter beaker, the numbers of beakers, you can analyze that you have that much of water. That means if you have covered 5 liter, if you have counted 5 times the 1 liter beaker, then the bucket is having 5 liter water, because 1 liter beaker is having 1 liter of water. 5 times it is having inside the bucket, means it is 5 liter of water. Likewise you can count. So 1 liter beaker is known to us that its capacity is 1 liter. But inside the bucket we don't know that how much capacity of that bucket is. So we have to transfer the water in that medium or in that unit, so to get the exact quantity of that unknown medium. Then in the case of ancient era, means ancient culture, generally people use foot, yard, this type of measurement structures. So yard is unit structure. So yard is generally a distance of arm stretch outward to the chin. Means if we are stretching our arm to the outward side, from our edge of our finger up to our chin is known as 1 yard distance. So this is generally used for measurement in the ancient era. Then they used in the they used foot as the unit of measurement. So all over the world, means in different parts of the world, foot is generally used for the measurement. But it really caused some confusion, because of which in 1790 French standard unit of measurement is arised. Then French standard unit of measurement is generally known as metric system. Metric system. Okay, French standard unit of measurement is known as metric system. It generally used for the measuring distances or any other things also, also to measure the weight and length and distances, everything. Okay, then for the sake of uniformity, means the French standard also came for the metric system, but this didn't make us uniform. Okay, that's why for the sake of uniformity, the scientists all over the world get together and they decided to make a uniform measurement system, means to make a unit of uniformity throughout the world, so that they came up with international system of units, that is known as SI units. International system of units, that is SI units. So all the scientists all together decided to have a international system of units, that is known as SI units. So SI units generally used for our different type of measurements take an example of length. Okay, for the sake for measuring the length, generally we are using meter as a SI unit also. It is also an example of SI unit. So meter, you are generally having in your scale. In the geometry box, you are having a small scale. So the scale is consists of some centimeter reading. That is also part of meter, and it is also a part of SI unit measurement. So 1 meter is generally of 100 centimeter, and 1 centimeter is of about 10 millimeter, and 1 kilometer is about 1000 meter. Likewise, you can see that kilometer is the highest range of in this section. Okay, not the kilometer in the super highest range. There is so much other units also. Those are far greater than the kilometer reading. Here you take the example of kilometer. Kilometer is 1000 meter. 1000 meter is again converted to centimeter by taking 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter, and centimeter is converted to millimeter by taking 1 centimeter as 10 millimeter. Okay, so this type of system has been taken in the SI unit system. Then comes the correct and incorrect measurement. So if you are measuring by a scale, then you have to place the scale in a proper manner. Means sometimes you have one edge of the scale, that is 0 part of the scale is broken, and you are placing it on that edge of unknown distance to measure the distance, then it will give you a incorrect measurement. So likewise, if you are measuring by scale in an indirect manner or in a passive manner or from a inappropriate direction, then also you are getting an incorrect measurement. So you have to place the scale properly to the known distance measurement up to the edge, and you have to also be in the position of straight. Then only you can get the correct measurement. And notice your scale 0 point or the 0 point of your 0 mark of your scale should be straight, not to be broken. Okay, and then tape. So to measure the curved path or curved distance, means suppose you have to measure a football. So how could you measure? You have to take a tape. Means tape is generally available at the tailor's shop. You can see very frequently whenever you are going to a tailor, they generally take out their tape and measuring your waist size or chest size or arm size or all these things. Okay, so generally to measure a curve like structure, tape is used to measure the quantity or measure the size. Okay, so tape is generally used to measure the curved path or a curved measurement. Okay, then comes the types of motion. So there are generally 4 types of motion are there, out of which first take the names, then we will go one by one. So first coming is rectilinear motion, then is our circular motion, third is periodic motion, and fourth is rotational motion. Okay, so rectilinear motion means, so generally the vehicle or whatever it may be is going in a straight path, means that is known as rectilinear motion. You can see the example of buses, trucks, and whenever you are participating in a 100-meter sprint, so all these things are known as rectilinear motion. Okay, they generally go in a straight direction. And whatever circular motion means generally you are having a center point of origin, and you are having a circumferential movement on its circumference. So you are having a circular motion. You can take the example of fan, hands of the clock. So all these things are generally examples of circular motion. And what is periodic motion? Suppose you are having a string and tied a stone on its one end, and other end is free, and the free end you are having it in the inside your finger, and you are placing it in a hanging position. And one, suppose that tied end means the stone you have stretched it and relaxed it, then you will give you a to and fro motion. You can take the example of pendulum also. Branches of the moving tree means branches are generally going towards left and again come to the origin and towards right, then go left and right. So in that way they are giving you a to and fro motion, that is known as the periodic motion. You can also take other examples by also examples from your nature. And generally it is said to have a fixed motion after a fixed interval, means it repeats its motion after a fixed interval, means it takes takes a movement in one direction after a regular interval of time comes to the other direction. Okay, so to complete one circle it takes the regular interval of time. Then rotational motion is generally not having a particular axis of movement. It is rotating all over its circumferential area, rotating its axis, it's rotating towards its own axis, means complete rotation of its body, that is known as the rotational motion. Suppose you are playing a football on the ground, means the ball is rotating by itself throughout the ground. It may be in a circumferential manner or it may be in a rectilinear motion, but it is rotating towards itself only, then it is moving. Okay, so if it is moving in a circular path or towards the circumference of the circle, then it is known as circular motion, means the ball is having rotational motion with a circular motion, it is covering the circumference. And if it is going straight, then it is rotating, means it is having a rotational motion, then it is having the rectilinear motion as it is going in the straight direction. Okay, so this is the rotational motion. You can take the example of our earth is rotating on its own axis, then a revolutionary motion also, means around the sun it is having a revolutionary motion and it is rotating around its own axis. So earth is having two types of motion also. So these are the examples you can take and for your better understanding. So here the chapter 10 ends, and in the next lesson we will cover the chapter 11. And till then, watch my videos, subscribe and share with your friends, like my videos and press the bell icon to get the subscription as earlier as possible. Okay, thank you so much. Namaste.